You are now listening to the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, the Going North podcast. I'm your host, certified self-leadership trainer and author of the best-selling book, Stay the Course, Dom Brightman. And you're going to be getting some goodies today from the guest that's up next. And today on the Highlight Reel Builder for Authors, known as the Going North podcast, you got another super special, awesome human for you today, my friends, all the way out from a city far, far away. If you're listening in Maryland, because my goodness, she is from the land of charm, crime, and crab cakes, known as Baltimore, Maryland. Wait, that's here. Oh. I guess I missed that part. But hey, it's kind of far for somebody listening if you're out in France or whatever. But we got one heck of a super special, awesome human for it today, folks, because she has finally published her first book, her first entry to the business of immortality. We got an author, entrepreneur, and philanthropist with their own nonprofit helping the youth and the elderly. So that's right, folks. If you're in the middle, no help for you. If you like a small kid or like a really big kid, aka over 65, collect Social Security, and you want some youth and all beside you, then you got this wonderful lady right here, the one, the only AS herself, the wonderful Angie Sewell. How you doing today, Angie?
Doing good.
There you go. Good in the magical neighborhood indeed. There you go. Well, as you know, with all introductions are not allowed to be 3 days long, and I probably only got like maybe half a day in. So mind filling in any cavities I missed about you, Angie?
No, you pretty much covered it all. I do enjoy helping the elderly and young people. I'm currently a CASA, which is a court-appointed child advocate. And if you get my book or read my book, you know that I was in foster care. So the youth, I'm very passionate about.
There you go. There you go. Yes, and in this book, you had one heck of a powerful story. So, my goodness, what led you to being passionate about helping out the youth and the elderly?
Well, when I was a young person myself, the elderly looked out for me. And I remember being a young person thinking, boy, this is hard, because I was pretty much on my own. So as I grew up, I promised always to give back if I could make it out of my rough situations. And I did.
There you go. That's right. Some rough situations indeed. So, what made them so rough? So, was there like a bunch of rocks lying around? Was there like a bear trap with a penguin in front of it, dressed up as like a candy pinata that trapped you into the bear trap? Like, what did it entail for those who don't know yet?
That would be nice if that happened. But, unfortunately, people of color, we to deal with a lot of adversity in America. And I grew up in a very tumultuous time for me because I was dealing with abuse of all kinds. Trying to grow up as a teenager, it was challenging. But they say children are resilient. And at the time, I didn't realize how bad it was. But I had a lot of good people that happened to be older than me, a lot older, 60 plus, looking out for me. So that's why my heartstrings go that way as well.
That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about indeed. Yeah, because there was a lot of abuse involved. Because I read probably about a good half of the book so far. Indeed, it's a nice little short book, something small, something for the folks to grab that's nice and easy. And it seems like a lot of trauma was attacking you all at once. So, for those who may be going through trauma themselves, any advice for them, depending on the situation, because the whole world got rocked with a giant fist last year on top of everything else that was happening before that. So any advice for those going through that trauma right now?
Yes, I would say don't be afraid to ask for help. And sometimes help comes in many forms. It could be if you're a young teacher at school, it could be a good friend that you trust or a family member. So just ask for help. Don't keep it in, because that was one of my downfalls. I would just hold everything in. And as I aged, and I'm not that old, I'm 43 right now, but because of all the internalizing, I didn't always take care of myself, or I would lose sleep, and that was wear and tear on my body that was unnecessary. But maybe if I would have spoke out, in fact, I'm pretty sure if I would have talked about it more, I would have less mental health trials and tribulations myself.
Definitely can say that again. Definitely can say that again. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Because it's so darn true. Like a lot of folks, pride and ego get in the way of asking for help.
Yes. And a lot of times, if you just mention mental health, people get, the stigma, people get uncomfortable. But if you care about yourself, you go to the doctor, it's the same situation. Your brain is the motherboard to your body. So you got to make sure that's right.
That's right. The brain is the motherboard to your body. That's right. That's right, to your body, y'all. That's right. So take care of that brain, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. You got a good head in your shoulders. I ain't talking about the shampoo. Like, take care of it, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. That brain care is where it's at, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. Indeed, you got to feed that brain any way you can. In a good way. Definitely in a good
Yes.
way.
Because it can go both ways. Feed it poison, you get poison. Feed it good things, you get good things.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. So my goodness. So with all of the stuff that you're doing now, what helped you to really get to the point now where you're helping out folks? I'm pretty sure there had to be some brain care on your part, like tending to the garden of your mind somehow to really get to where you are, where you're actually helping folks. Like what helped you to develop that part of your life? Because it's not an overnight sort of thing. I'm sure it has to be cultivated daily.
Yes. Well, it kind of fits my personality. I when I graduated from high school, I had all my teachers write me like a reference for colleges and also for scholarships. And I look back at those, and their things are over 20 years old, and I really haven't changed much. My circumstances have changed a lot, but who I'm as a person, I always wanted to help the teachers and other students out. It's just like who I'm at the core of me. And of course, as things got harder, I learned different, tactics to navigate through life. But at the core of me, I just like helping people. Some people like fishing, some people like different hobbies. I truly like helping people. And it can be just as small as listening to somebody, giving them advice. Because I am the original Google. Before there was Google, there was my brain. Because I had to do a lot of problem solving. So, if I can share with someone and help them and cut some of the red tape in life, because even though Google's out there, young people, they don't always know what they're reading. The internet isn't always true, unfortunately. So I hope by me speaking more and getting this book out, they can use as a resource. And, I can help as many people as possible.
Oh yeah, definitely. So many points you brought up there, which is so darn true. Because everything you read on the darn internet on your smartphone isn't true. You have to be able
Right.
to discern and actually check out the facts. Like this article, if you're reading an article online, like where did they get their information from?
Right.
Is it all hearsay? And they got all these darn cameras out there that can add all these filters and make you look like someone completely different, and where
Isn't it
make you look
something?
like you have a completely different outfit on.
Yep. It's amazing. And I grew up at a time when, in like the 80s, I was in elementary school, and I remember they brought Apple computers in. And I'm like, we can't have apples in the library. And the thing, the thing is, it was like I watched information become everywhere versus encyclopedias. So like you said, you really got to fact check things because anybody can put anything out there at this point, and you can change, like you said, the way it looks. So your image is important, not only because of social media, but it's your integrity. You don't want someone to be able to say, well, this person does this if you didn't do it. So always keep your integrity strong.
Well, yeah, that's right. Keep your integrity strong indeed. That's right, That's right indeed. And speaking of images, a part of your book that actually resonated with was during your younger years, they actually sadly called you a white girl because you spoke proper and you had lighter skin. So like
It's
my
unfortunate.
yeah, it's like really like proper English is apparently white to some folks in the community, which is really sad
Uh,
to be
yeah,
honest.
because I did
So
not understand what they meant when they said that to me.
exactly. It's like you know how many darn poets and artists and creative folks are in the black community alone that get their stuff stolen from
Yep.
daily, even today still.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's the day. So, any advice for those who may be listening, heck, even younger folks in the community and going through that right now with the darn colorism in our own black community? Any advice for getting through that since you yourself had to deal with that?
I just dismissed it because I don't see how race can have a voice like that. The proper. I do understand people have accents and different dialogues. I can understand that being from the South, but that the colorism is unfortunate and people should open their minds. It's just I grew up in a different part of Maryland than you grew up. You know, I was born in the city, but I grew up in the county. So these people sound different. It's not a race thing, but it can hurt people because they don't understand where they're coming from, which is one of the big problems in America.
Ah, so grew up in the South, huh?
Yeah. And stereotypes, that's where it all really comes from. You know, people think, and then generations pass it down, unfortunately, and get it all misconstrued and end up hurting one person trying to be funny. But if it's mean spirited, I don't see how it's funny, but it is what it is.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's definitely true. It's definitely true because there's good jokes and then there's just jokes that are meant to really offend people, that are truly meant to offend people. And sometimes folks may think that, oh, all these jokes, oh, they hurt these people that they probably aren't even the same color of as. And it's like, oh, wow, like come on, y'all. Like I understand like
Right.
standing up for other people's issues, but also be aware of read the room of the situation when it comes to certain things. So yeah, definitely stereotypes and making sure that it's in true fun and not just trying to hurt
Right. Trying to
people.
hurt. Hmm.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So my goodness. So with this process of this whole book, putting it together, what led you to really putting it together now of all times? Was it just you deciding to be one of the COVID book baby boomers, or what was it something totally different?
A little bit, but not really. COVID gave me a little more time. That's probably one of the blessings in it. But I wrote a well rather I put together a vision board, and that was on my vision board 1 year later. So I wanted it to come to fruition because everything I had to write down, put on my vision board, I can make happen because it reminds me. And I've always wanted to write a book because I because people wouldn't believe what I went through anyway. And I know that there's other people struggling like me. So I wanted to help people. And sometimes if someone can just look at someone's story and say, hey, I went through that and she did all this, hopefully I can be an inspiration.
Yeah. So what was the process like reliving some of that stuff to put it into your
Painful,
book?
very painful. And I'm of age, like I said, so a lot of wine was involved. I'm just keeping it real.
There you go.
A lot of wine and late nights. Yep. Yeah, because some of it I just forgot. So I did some meditations and it helped me relax with the wine, of course. And that helped me focus and remember things very vividly. Some things I didn't want to remember, but I knew I had to like purge and get it out because I know for a fact there's people that walked in my shoes and still are, unfortunately, but it's so true.
Oh yeah, definitely could say that again indeed. So wine, meditation, was there anything else? Was there like a particular schedule that you stuck with putting this all together? Because I know different folks have different ways and methods of getting their content out there. So what was your method? Was it just freestyle? Like how was that process for you?
Well, I came up with the title and I was like, who am I? And I was like, I call it Who is Angie? And so I wanted to, I kind of, the stories are broken down by people in my lives at the times, because it will be a sequel to this, just to get it out there. My thought was, let me show you the beginning of my life into where I am now. And it was, I always wanted to do it late at night because I work better at night and like the wine. And I had a good friend, she kind of stayed with me and we audio taped it so I wouldn't have to worry about writing it. So we recorded a lot of it and then went back over. She helped me edit it. And she wants to remain anonymous, and I appreciate her for that. She didn't have to, but she didn't want to be involved in the writing. She said it's a gift to me, and I really appreciate that because it was not easy doing alone. So she stuck by me.
Yeah, well, that's good indeed. That's good indeed. Yeah, that's definitely a good process and a good way of going about, especially with the audio recording piece, because we talk faster than we write.
Right. Yeah. And I don't know, I didn't put this in my book, this book, but I'm also diagnosed and tested ADHD and I'm dyslexic. So it's always been a challenge for me when it comes to stuff like that. Like I speak better than I write because I get caught up in spelling. So, but I just let it free with the wine, late night, good food, and the audio. So that way I could just really organize it. I had a good editor help me organize it. So it worked out pretty good, I think.
Cool. So you mentioned there's gonna be more books. So is this gonna be like a trilogy, or is there more than 3 that you're planning? Like, what's next for this whole project you got going here?
Well, at least 3, and I like to get into some younger children books, but I got to find a good illustrator because children like, graphics. And there's a couple things I want to really do with the children books because when I was younger, my imagination helped me a lot between music and television. I like comedy to escape from everything. So I really want to do maybe a series of children books that would just keep going and going. But as far as this book for like the older population, I could see at least 3, maybe more. And then I want to kind of survey folks and see which part of it do you want to hear of more. So I can give, the readers what they would like to hear. And I've gotten a lot of good feedback. People will text me to know my number personally, or they'll send something on social media like, this is so good. Thank you for writing it. And I just really wanted to get it out there and hope it would help some people. I'm not in it for the money. I priced it very low on purpose because I want to eventually get a grant and give it away. So that's the main goal.
Oh, okay. All right. Some multiple books indeed. All right. Cool. So that's right. So on your vision board, you probably got your face on there and got your hand holding like a whole stack of books with your name on as the author, don't you?
You know it. Yep.
Ah, there you go. That's right. With the whole keg of wine next to it, right?
Yes. One, lots of maybe just hooked up to my mouth. No.
Okay. All right. Okay, good. I was about to say, like, oh, she's actually going with it. All right. She's IV'd herself to the wine.
Yes, I have IV'd my wife responsibly, only at night and with a responsible person near me. Yep.
That's right. Angie got a whole list, y'all.
Yeah, I was a bartender, so
Oh, yeah. That is true. That is true. That's right. So she can tend her home bar, y'all. That's right. She knows how to raise the bar too, y'all. That's right.
Yep.
That's right. Raising all the bars indeed. Or just the ones that matter.
No, it doesn't matter, of course. Yes.
That's right indeed. So faith was also a theme in this book. So is faith still a part of your life today, and has it gotten stronger?
Oh yeah. Yep. Faith is because I've seen some amazing things. I'm like, oh, that's definitely my faith working. I didn't believe it would happen fleshly, but my spiritual side is like, yes. Because I've seen some very amazing things. Maybe I'll explore that in my next book some more.
So can we get a taste and at least hear about one of those things at least?
Let me think. Well, a little bit. You talk about my foster mother in the book a lot, and I remember praying before I got in foster care. I said, "Please, just let it be someone that's not me," because you hear things about foster care, and he delivered. The man upstairs, because my foster mother, I looked like I could have been her child. She was so down to earth and fun. I had the best sleep, and I'm about 13, 14 at this time. I had the best sleep I've ever had, and that's a long time, even though I'm so young, to not have a good sleep. But I prayed there would be someone that would be nice and kind, and got it. I mean, verbatim what I wanted. She helped me with my scholarships. She was perfect for me.
Amen to that. Amen to that. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. That's right. Prayer works, y'all. That's right. That's right. It ain't just from 9 to 5 either, y'all. I'm telling you, it works, y'all. That's right. Because you heard her. She said late at night, y'all. She was praying, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right, indeed. And this is before the wine, y'all. I'm telling you.
Yes, before the wine. Yes, prayer before the wine.
Oh, man, I'll stop talking about. Well, we're coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive. And that is, if you're to wake up tomorrow and you're 25 again, but this time in 2021 with all of your knowledge and experience, what advice would you give to yourself?
Don't be afraid to travel, because sometimes when you stay in one place physically, you miss the big picture of the world, literally. And I was always afraid to travel. and I'm just starting to embrace that. And I don't know, just because Maryland's very comfortable to me, I think, and I know everything here. But most recently, I did take a trip to Puerto Rico, and that's a big step for me because I've only been like to the surrounding DMV. But yeah, I did it. And it felt good, but I would go back and say, go somewhere.
Ah, yeah, that's right. Definitely go somewhere indeed. That's right. That's right indeed. That's right. Let's go somewhere indeed. Solid advice with that. Yeah, 'cause some people haven't left their darn stoop. They like that stoop kid off of here on. Like, hey, stoop
You know
kid
what I
never
mean?
leaves his stoop. Like, don't do that. Go
It
out there,
limits
see the
you.
world.
Don't limit yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Just see it as 1999. Mystical in the No Limit tank, baby. That's right.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's right. No limit, y'all. That's right. That's right. Indeed. No limit indeed. So, for those who want to keep in contact with Angie herself and all that she's doing and be on the lookout for books 2, 3, and 23, what's the best way for folks to do so?
The best way to get my book is on Amazon. Amazon. And I've heard that it comes very fast. It's the best way. It's where I put all my time and energy into to have it there. And I also carry them on my person. So if you see me in the street, say, hey, I want a book, and I'll give it to you for a small fee. And they can also Google me, and you'll find my social media under for the Instagram is Who is Angie, and for my Facebook, you can simply put Angela Cecilia Sewell, and I'll pop up. My face is on there, so most people can find me. Um, Other ways, you could also Google Helping People Maryland. That's the nonprofit that has a number you can reach me on. Not that hard to find. Not a lot of information about me unless you read the book, but I'm not that hard to find.
Well, there you have it, folks. Reach out to Angie yourself, y'all. Get on that list by buying all sorts of books, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. And keep up with all the stuff she's doing for this whole trilogy, y'all. Some stuff in there about some tragedy to triumph, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right. That's right, indeed, because there's some stuff out there that's rougher than sand and boulders, y'all. I'm telling you. That's right, that rough stuff. That's right. It eventually became a little smoother, just a little. That's
Yep.
right. That's right, indeed. So, any parting words before we close up shop, Angie?
Not too much. I hope people get the book. I hope they enjoy the book. And I've got some good resources for help. And like I said, you can Google me, you can find me, and I'll help you the best I can. And I've really enjoyed sharing this information about my book.
How's it going, you super special, awesome human? Since you made it to the end of this episode, it looks like you really enjoyed yourself. Since you enjoyed this episode, be sure to share it with at least 3 people in your network and tell them what you really liked about this episode.